So with, Cloudkicker coming on now, like it's, 20,000 ounces over 12 to 18 months.
We will easily beat that, Matt. So 20,000 is based on the old resource. So, look, I pointed to that in the announcement because that's sort of what we know and what we can say with some certainty. But that will be, I would expect that to be easily beaten.
This is general advice and my opinions only. This episode's company has paid me for this interview. I may be long, short, or hold an interest in stocks or CFDs mentioned. Past performance isn't reliable. The interviewee's views are their own, not necessarily mine. LEVRD operates as a corporate authorised representative 00131 8377 under AFSL 548573. You can find our financial services guide via the LEVRD website link in the show notes.
Right, bag holders and stop loss owners. I'm keeping the gold thing alive. Gold's down, but tell you what, actually, Pastor, you've looking at the screen here, you've actually held up all right. 4.2 cents trading pretty flat across this period. Mate, MD of NMG, New Murchison Gold. Welcome back, Cobber.
Thanks, Matt. Good to be back. And yeah, it's been a busy period for us, despite the share price being flat. So just trying to we are adding value while the market's softening. So hopefully not flat for much longer, and hopefully back going up from left to right.
Yeah, piece of cake. Right, mate, last chat we had in May, I think it was the final query was around, trying to keep everyone happy. The market's never happy. They're either worried you're raising money and now they're worried about what you're going to do with your money. Now that, I guess, gold's pulled back, and your concerns last time were around, uncertainty around diesel and gold price, and look, that's probably come to fruition pretty well. What's the conversations like at the moment with your undetermined cash balance, because your quarterly's not out yet? What's the vibe with investors and shareholders at the moment?
So that's right. So quarterly out shortly. It's been we won't say too much on that, but everything's going well for the quarter and as expected. The cash balance is strong, and gives us options to pursue growth. We're focused on exploring the Abbott's Greenstone Belt, both near mine and regionally. And always keep an eye out on various ways to add value. The most recent exploration success that we've had and put an announcement out to in this respect earlier this week was Cloudkicker, which is a deposit that's certainly separate from Crown Prince on the surface, but may join up in an underground sense. And is our second pit that we're bringing online. So we're very excited about that. And you've got some grades up there, which I think you'll from your experience, that they're good open pit grades. So strip ratio of about 8 to 1 in this pit. With some very strong grades. So we did put out a resource estimate for the deposit recently, but that's already out of date and already looking like we'll significantly outperform.
Is Cloudkicker, is this Crown Prince East?
It is Crown Prince East.
Yeah, renamed.
The guy, it was historically called Cloudkicker, when we put our mining approval in, we did Crown Prince West and Crown Prince East, but the site guys always kept calling it Cloudkicker, and they liked the name, so we decided to keep it. Yeah.
Mate, they're good. They're bloody good open pit grades. Mate, they'd be good underground grades. Looking at your recent sort of, this was infill drilling, yeah?
It was a little bit of extension, actually. So what we found that was in addition to the resource was this cap rock. So if you just pause on that one there, so you can see the 9 metres at 9 grams from 3 metres up the top there, cap rock.
Yeah.
Up the top of the cross section. So that that area is quite new, and heading from sort of the topographic high of Cloudkicker down toward to the north to the left of this cross section, the Garden Gully Creek. There's a strong cap rock that's developed, and that's got really good grades. So that gives us a great start for this pit. Whereas earlier on, we didn't think that the cap rock was as well developed over Cloudkicker as as it was on Crown Prince. So, we were having to mine through a depleted zone before getting into some really good ore. So this cap rock lens gives us a great start in a way, and gives us early high grade ore, which is great.
The bloody gold gods are looking after you there, mate. Most people have got a pre-strip waste to get down, so that's a very handy little cap rock to have. So because some of these grades are. It's correct, like 10, this is within the pit, like 10 metres at 13 grams, 9 at 9.3, and this is all, within 50 metres of the surface. You probably explained it previously, but what's sort of driving these really high grades closer to the surface, and then like that's where the meat is, which is sensational when you mine a pit.
So there is a supergene component to both Cloudkicker and Crown Prince. But once you're below about 80 metres at both deposits, the primary gold mineralisation is well developed. So we see three different styles of gold mineralisation. You've got the sort of low gold quartz deposit, then the wall rock alteration, and then some late stylitic veins that cross cut that are developed in the quartz and the wall rock. And where you get all three types of mineralisation, you get the really high grades. So that's all in primary. So that's, they're what we aim for in an underground, below the pit type sense. And then in the open pit, you get, there's good supergene upgrading of that mineralisation as well. So looking at that cross section for a sec, where you're getting, say, the 3 at 14 from 67, in the middle of that diagram, that will have all three styles of mineralisation. Anything that's 15 grams or over, that's where we see the nexus of all those three. Something the deeper sort of stuff that's getting a little bit more modest grade will be missing one of those styles of mineralisation. So the trick for us is to how do we target where there's wall rock alteration, strongly gold mineralised wall rock, plus quartz vein with gold in it, plus late stage remobilisation of gold in these stylites. And then you can see in the hole sort of below the cap rock, sort of below where the word domain's written there, that's we're also getting some supergene mineralisation there. So that's taken from the primary lodes and upgraded, but also flatter.
Yeah. Mate, I'm just stoked for you that early work as a geologist is coming to fruition for you now, and you can just rolls off the tongue like anything. You'd think you've been doing it for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's right. So it is nice to still whilst worrying about timelines, various HR things and strategy and all of those good things. It is also nice to get back up to site and do some geology as well.
Very good, mate. Last time you said, one of the main things you get asked about from the market is the growth like growth mine life. So with, Cloudkicker coming on now, like it's, 20,000 ounces over 12 to 18 months.
We easily beat that. Matt. So 20,000 is based on the old resource. So look, I pointed to that in the announcement because that's sort of what we know and what we can say with some certainty. But that will be, I would expect that to be easily beaten. And so I mean, it may even it'll be well beaten, well and truly beaten.
Yeah.
Now, but the key for us as well as short-term production growth is also that resource growth. So, we've got currently 359,000 ounces at 2.5 grams in resource. We know we want to grow that. We will be growing. We'll be aiming to grow that by both near mine and regional exploration. These are all high confidence ounces, so 71% measured and indicated. Yep. And so we need a combination of growing the indicated portion and also then regionally growing some inferred ounces as well. It's something that we want to do as quickly as we possibly can without stuffing it up and putting too much money into exploration that's poorly spent, because we've all seen some disasters over the years with with ill-disciplined exploration. So we are growing that team and doing it, and doing the exploration properly.
That so this MRE update that come out a few weeks ago, 25th of June. I've got it on screen here. What you mentioned there. So the 359 at 2.5, up 47%, including the depletion. Where did a lot of the growth come from that you bought into this update?
Yeah, sure. So it came from Crown Prince Underground, Cloudkicker, Lydia, and also Abbots. So Abbots is a deposit that's near Crown Prince, but to the north in the same tenement package. Lydia is 800 metres away from Crown Prince, and we'll be aiming to put a mining proposal and mine development and closure plan in for that shortly. So you can see there we've got Lydia North, Lydia South, and we've got another pit plan there, Lydia East. So we think Lydia will be 3 pits with a waste dump in the middle. And slightly different style of mineralisation to Crown Prince. The mineralisation here is north-south oriented, dips to the east actually, dips deeply to the west, I should say, and has shallow east dipping high-grade lenses as well. So a bit of a different style of mineralisation, same age, same quartz hosted. With similar alteration, but just in a very different orientation to Crown Prince, where we see the southeastern zone mainly striking in more of an east-west direction. Yeah,
and because like the big chunk of your resource is in, I've got it on screen here, Crown Prince Underground. So you've got 150 out of that whole resource, a bit under half, 150,000 ounces at 3.2. And like you're talking last time that you're aiming for sort of that 3,000 to 4,000 ounce a month underground. I guess with this MRE update, what sort of come into that sort of validate those numbers that's potential growth?
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Be much higher, but it certainly validates it. Yeah. So 3,000 to 4,000 ounces per month of production, very achievable from what we're seeing.
Yeah, and what about on the regional scale? I'm good on the bloody screen switching here. But talking about airport, I think it was.
Stop at that one. That's a good one to stop at. So. Abernathy South and Airstrip, you'll hear. You'll hear more and more about. So that's a 5 kilometre long coherent gold anomaly with above 1 gram grade, over a 5 kilometre long strike. We don't have any resources delineated there yet, but that's along that 5 kilometre long shear zone. Wherever you see, a reason for upgrading and more ounces per metre of strike length and metre of dip direction, we're focused on. So that is wherever that shear zone bends or is intersected by other cross-cutting structures that are at about the same age. That's where we're seeing accumulation. So what I'm hopeful of for the Abernathy Airstrip trend is that there'll be a series of deposits along that. It's not going to be a 5 kilometre long deposit that all holds together in one resource, but there'll be a series of good scale deposits along that. First drilled by Western Mining Gold Division in the 90s, has had not a lot of follow up since, and has had plenty of early academic work put into it, where it's got all the right ingredients for a major gold system down there. So close to Bluebird, would be easy to haul anything down there. So that should be relatively easy growth for us. Well, nothing's easy in exploration, but easy enough.
Oh, mate, if you get mate, with high-grade cap rock, maybe it is easy for you. Let's just run with that. So where's all the drill rigs at the moment? Where are you spreading them across the package?
So we've got a slim RC drill rig down at Abernathy and Airstrip, plugging away.
Yeah.
Drilling the hopefully what turns into a series of pits down there. And maybe large pit. Maybe there's a couple of them join up, and there's quite a large one or two large deposits down there. Then we've got the RC standard RC. Right now was drilling at Abbott's, and it has been drilling at Cloudkicker after those results that we released the other day. So it finished off there and then went to Abbott's. Then it's coming back down to Crown Prince to drill out an area that I'm quite excited about actually, which is the area between Cloudkicker and Crown Prince, which I think could be a good, a good area for growth for the underground resource, the Crown Prince underground resource. I sort of suspect that they join up at depth, which would be a game changer for that deposit.
Yeah. So just two rigs total at the moment?
2 rigs total.
Yeah.
Third one's joining in August.
Yeah. So
this is a good figure to stop at. So you can see there that there's the Crown Prince, open pit, and then you've got Cloudkicker. So there are a series of chutes that plunge down to the south west, which is bottom left of that image, within a plane of overall mineralisation. You get these high grade chutes plunging to the southwest. Now, what we're thinking is yet to be proven is that plane of, say, mineralisation in the green there may extend all the way to Cloudkicker, with more red high-grade shoots plunging down in parallel to you see there. So it's 1,000 metres of strike between the two. So kilometre long would be a nice underground.
Yeah, very much so.
Yes.
Are you getting, I guess, pressure or expectations with because looking at it from the outside in, you're thinking, right, if you've got circa 150, 200 million bucks cash and your cash flow positive mine and pits, why do you have just 2 drill rigs at the moment? Are you getting a lot of pressure to get more rigs out there, or are you trying to stay disciplined, not to just waste meters?
There'll be a third one joining in August. There is, but there's no real constraints to getting more rigs. We just don't want to waste money either. So we're about good exploration and something that's going to be mineable rather than just adding fluffy ounces. Is
that so? Like from a corporate sense, like if because there's a lot of companies making no money that have got 6 drill rigs going, but does that mean if you went to 5 drill rigs, does that mean there's a lot more people to employ and everything like that to sustain that? With what you've got at the moment, what could you sustain?
Yeah, so with what the people that we've got at the moment, 3 is fine. 4 would keep everyone very busy. 5 or 6, we'd need more people. Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah. That answers that. Yeah. Thank you very much, mate. Crown Prince, the money maker, the OG, where this all bloody started. How's it all going? I think in last convo you said that you'd be getting pretty close to stage 1 and stage 2 meeting in July. Is that sort of where it's at the moment?
That's now August. So stage 1 and stage 2 will combine at the end of August. You can see the outline of the stage 2 pit and the deeper part of that west, where the words West Pit are written. You've got stage 1. So it's moved on a bit from this diagram. So that will we've got that stage 2, the larger outline that's about 400 metres by 300 metres, that is now caught up to the deeper central part of the pit.
Yep.
Or catching up, and that will be that they will meet in late August. And that opens up a huge area for production. So that we'll basically have a pit floor that's hundreds of metres across. Stage 1's been great, early cash flow, and dive down on some high grade, but it starts to get a bit tight for the dig fleet. So we can only fit 1 dig fleet down there at the moment, and that's all. And even then. It's pretty tight, so it's a tight work area. So, just to turn over the benches with with drill and blast plus all the trucks trying to get access and one digger, it's getting tight. So we're very much looking forward to stage 2 getting down to stage 1. So as we speak, stage 1 is around 40 metres, 45 metres below surface, and stage 2 is 35 to 40 metres below surface.
Yeah. So and once they're joined up, it's rip and tear through the
Rip
hole.
into it, and then the ultimate pit is 140 metres deep, and then with an underground portal coming off at 100 metres deep.
Yeah. So that underground portal to get to that RL where you're going to sort of start the vent portal and everything you were speaking about before.
That's higher up. That's at about 70 metres, 65 to 70 metres down. Yeah.
Okay. So, and is that like possibly by end of the year you're going to be considering going in there, or?
Yep. It's slipped a little bit from when we last spoke. Just plenty of things on, but yeah, it is. We're thinking end of the year. We're kicking off. Yep. Yeah. I was hopeful of September, but I think that's more like December now.
Yeah, very good. And I see every time you're drilling holes, you say like everything changes so much with what you add and what you find. And I guess that's the challenge of putting this somewhat of a multi-year outlook out that we chatted about before. How's that all tracking to give a bit of longer term guidance?
Yeah, I think we'll be in a good position to do that. Probably in September, very likely in September. So feasibility study out September, and that will have the pits, the underground, and we'll be able to talk about a few good years and some longer term stuff in that as well.
Yeah, very good, mate. That's probably, I reckon we've done a good bloody summary there, and then I guess like rehashing a lot of the stuff. It's good to see all these other companies coming out with OPAs and everything in the region, but you were the first. But I think are you still got the same view of building this business to a point where you can decouple yourself from other people? Like with all this exploration opportunity, there is a big case to have a mill on this site.
So we are very we speak to Westgold all the time. We're very happy with that relationship. They're very happy with how we're going, delivering all to Bluebird. We don't see that changing, in the short or medium term. The Westgold are obviously working hard to, create optionality for their mill. They've got some open pits coming online themselves. Then they've got OPAs, out with Great Boulder for Peak Hill. So I think, as we progress, we could look at doing something on our own ground, but in the meantime, we're very happy with the OPA and how it all works. And so Westgold, I believe.
Oh, sorry, and the beauty you'll have with if you did decide to go down that road, you got pits to throw the tailings in straight away.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have to build a tailings dam. Like hypothetically, let's just have a hypothetical here. Where would you put the mill on your tenement?
Still near Crown Prince, because it's actually in the middle of the tenement package. So if you go to that regional slide that you had up before, I think it's in one of the announcements. You can get to it. So the Mount Clare, there you go. So Mount Clare Road. So that road that comes off the Great Northern Highway is a good road, and we maintain that for our MLG haul trucks going down to Bluebird at the moment. So at Crown Prince, it is actually very close to the middle of the tenement package, and there are a series of internal roads that could be upgraded to haul to a central mill there. And as you say, it's a centre of gravity. You can use tailing. You can put tailings into old pits. And there's already infrastructure there. So I think that's probably the best spot for it. The only thing that would change that would be if Airstrip and Abernathy really came to the fore as a standalone operation, and it wasn't going to make sense to haul ore that far. But we're not in terms of an internal road coming from Airstrip to Crown Prince, we're not talking too far. It's probably, as a crow flies, around 12 kilometres.
Yeah, and is there anything? It's a pretty greenfields process to go through on your tenement if you did decide to go down that road. Like it's, I suppose, because you haven't got any existing mill infrastructure to leverage approvals off or anything. It's be a big job, but all doable.
Very doable. So, we'd need, obviously, the works approval changes. So, the mining side doesn't. So, mining and waste dump and taking all water from an aquifer and, some aspects of a closure plan. The introduction of cyanide, obviously requires, and tailings, even if they're in an old pit, that requires monitoring and approvals. Emissions and power and so forth for a plant that, that definitely, requires some work. But it's not like it's not like it hasn't been done in this area before. I mean, there's Bluebird, there's Andy Well, there's Catalyst up the road, there's Fortnum not too far. So, there's a lot of baseline data that and how other plants in the area have impacted the environment or not, or manage their impacts on the environment that we can go off.
Yeah, very good, mate. To sign off, site morale with Sammy steering the ship up there. How's he going? Is he keeping everyone in line? And is he reporting back regularly?
Well, of course. Well, so, from the exploration team is, he's head of morale. No, the Auslan, and talking about the mining guys for a second, the Auslan and MLG guys are doing a great job. The site management team for NMG doing a great job. We then have, our exploration team, including Sam, we're doing a great job working all the various prospects we've got. So, the town of Meeka is an old gold mining centre, and it's very busy at the moment. There's lots of drillers, lots of prospectors, lots of different companies up there. There's a real buzz, around the town. It's great.
Nah, very good. I got to stop talking Sam Davis up because we don't want him to become a corporate target for another company. We want him to stay within NMG. So
that's right, mate.
Nah, very good, mate. Well, thanks appreciate the update, mate. And nothing like doing it when it's come down a bit in gold price. So who knows what? I'm not even going to ask you what you think you're going to know, where you think the gold price is going, because no one bloody knows. We could just say it's going to go up, hopefully. So, mate, look forward to catching up with you at Noosa. If any punters want to see Pasty in the flesh and ask questions, he will be at Noosa next week, along with myself. I might come sit in the booth with you briefly, mate.
Sounds good.
Awesome, mate. Thank you very much, and appreciate you coming back on LEVRD. Cheers.
Cheers.